of him, but now we're looking at our schedule because coming up we have Team Envy and LG again. LG, the winners of Fort Worth. I wouldn't really want to play him right now.
That's the Rampart.
This is a banger match right here.
Well, the Envy
it depends on which Envy
we're
going to see.
It depends on which Envy we're going to see.
We're going to get good Envy.
Well, these always kind of a coin toss, right, with Envy at least, but on LG's side, again, coming off of that win, Nameless looking very, very hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Luminosity played absolutely phenomenal at that event. Classic had his best event thus far in this game. Slacked and John, we kind of saw the, veterans of old right there at Fort Worth going off. And then we saw Superstar Gunless once again and Superstar Formal. Formal has been, at times he's been putting up those numbers, but we hadn't seen the Superstar form up until Fort Worth. He's back, he was going off, and he is that main AR that he used to be. And this is a deadly team right here when they're clicking on all cylinders. And Classic with that Rampart, and something to look out for going in this one.
Well, in study, I feel like Slack tends to get a lot of grief, and he had something like this Slack side, and then he turned around into getting triples at Fort Worth and doing very, very well.
That's one player that Slack's always going to be. He's just always going to be that guy where people just feel like, all right, we can just throw it at him, because Slack's not going to be like the guy throwing up unbelievable stats and stuff like that. But just overall, he knows what he's doing,
right,
and he's able to fill his role completely easy, understands the game, and his communication.
What's his stat? He's the only player since Black Ops 3 to win a tournament in every single title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always there at the top. So all the hate that was thrown his way, it was coming too quickly.
Yeah.
This guy's a god right here.
Absolutely.
He is the best player in the game. He was going off at
1.44 S&D at Fort
That's
Worth.
unbelievable. And like a 1.35 hardpoint KD, as well as he was like top 3 damage per minute, something like that. Just going off across the board. Like, he's the backbone to this roster right now. They rely on this guy to, get those trades, pick up those big 2 pieces, and Gunless is the best player.
Gunless is godlike. I'm pretty sure that if I was on Luminosity, we'd get a chip at some point. Like, yo, Gunless, I'll slide in for you, bro. Get my trades. I don't know about
you, Pac-Man. You kind of trash. I don't even know if I can help you with that one, but it's all right.
All right.
I deserve that?
No.
What did I do to deserve that?
That was out of nowhere.
All right, we gotta talk about Envy. We gotta talk about Envy. Again, Hook, they're superstar right now, and are you guys still wanting to see more from everyone else, or it was a little bit better at Fort Worth?
It just seems like the chemistry, like these guys. I feel like some of these guys want to be on different teams, and they had that sort of, it came together at the tournament when they beat Optic Gaming. They looked
really good,
and they lost to Heretics, and it was like, what happened? Because Heretics didn't look good at all previous to that match, and they got 3-1, which wasn't really a close game, and the Hardpoint was domination.
What we saw was them not be able to close out maps again, just like what we saw at the league. I know there's some ridiculous stat out there about them losing game 5s, round 11s. Like, they lost back-to-back round 11s at Fort Worth. Like, you win those, it completely changes everything. If we see the Envy we saw Friday, they could come and beat Luminosity. If we see the Envy we saw from the league and the Envy we saw Saturday, I expect a 3-0 from Luminosity.
There's this weird thing about Envious where it seems like when they are in these like super back against the wall scenarios, like when they were at the POQ, they looked phenomenal. Or when they were playing Optic Gaming and they had so much to prove, they looked amazing. And you get those contributions out of players like Silly and Aches. And, in some of those matches after the Optic Gaming one, it's like they lost their steam. It's like, what happens? It's the inconsistency on this team that perplexes me. And it's on the side of them as well. They probably don't know what the hell's going on, why they can't put it together sometimes. And it's just inconsistent.
I mean, how do you begin to fix something like inconsistency if to Nameless's point, you don't even know why you're inconsistent?
No, they definitely know why they're inconsistent. There's just players on that team that definitely are just going to be able to clash heads, because one player, Aches is just always going to be that leader, and if he feels like something is right, he's always going to argue until he's proven wrong. So on the side of them, I just feel like they're clashing heads. They're off pacing, because I had conversations with a couple of players, and it's just like, I slide first, no one else is there to trade with me. And if I'm not with a certain player, no one else is going to be able to at least engage in gunfights and stuff like that. So it's just like, overall, it's just their pacing together and their teamwork and just like their work ethic. Because if you have at least one player, because when I was talking to Hook is an unbelievable talent. Obviously, we all think he's the best player on the team. So if he wants him to guide your team, you obviously need players to obviously listen to him. So one thing is just going into that is like, if you're not going to listen to your best player, it's going to be really hard to win.
Well, that is certainly true, and we will see what happens with that series coming up in just a little bit. But again, Red Reserve crawling back from that 2-0 deficit to accelerate, managing to win. Band's putting on a great performance despite a rocky position with his team. But coming up in just a minute, we have Team Envy versus Luminosity.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We've got our next match of cross-divisional play. Luminosity going up against Envy. And Joe, I'm excited for this one. I really want to see, are we going to get that same LG we just saw at Fort Worth? Obviously, they win the event. They got the Rampart in the meta. They're flying through people. And then the other side, Envy, I don't know. We're going to see improvements from there. They looked hot to start. Then they got real cold towards the tail end of it.
Sounds like Envy to me.
Yeah, hot and cold.
I have no idea. I really don't. I'm not exactly sure what's wrong, because when you talk about inconsistencies, to me that either tells you one thing. It's either your players are just inconsistent, which I guess you could argue that, like apathy can be aches and assault can be from time to time. Even Silly. Like Silly has been one of their better players alongside Hoot, but if he doesn't have a good day, like who's going to step up? And I think that happens. But on the other side, I think it comes down to like the play style. There has to be some arguments. I want to play this way. Someone else wants to play one way. And that just forces people in tough situations.
Well, I think we use the word inconsistent a lot, and we've said that with quite a few teams. But is it, for Envy, is it like the highest gap maybe between like kind of their ceiling and their floor that you've seen?
I think them and Red are the two that stick out to me the most. And we just saw Red Reserve, have a nice reverse sweep on the Accelerate. But those two really stick out to me, because I just feel like those are two teams who can compete for titles. And, well, I mean, Envy just placed 12th.
Yeah, and for LG, I mean, it's been a really good stretch of kind of like a month. Like, I know you had the first week that was tough, obviously, for them in the Pro League, but then you come out and go 3-1 in week 2, you're looking hot, then you win Fort Worth, so this has been a really good stretch for them. I guess I'm just genuinely curious, like, after you win a tournament sometimes, you'll see teams maybe fall off a little bit. Like I don't know if you feel like, oh, we won, all right, so we can take the foot off the pedal a little bit, or if they're going to come out of the fire and just fly through Envy.
Well, I think the good thing for them is they have the first week of cross-divisional play, right? Like, we're here. I mean, they just won this a week ago, where their confidence should be sky high. They don't have to worry about scrimming, because the great thing about winning is everything that you did was correct, right? That is the toughest part about practicing and failing and not winning, is that you have to go back home and have those discussions. What went wrong? And that's when all those arguments happen. LG, they've had arguments for, 4 or 5 months now. They finally are able to hold a trophy. And guess what? It's all good, right? Just from, I mean, guys like Classic who have had to turn things around, Slack, they finally figured it out. Now you just have to stay at that level.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it. But at the same time, I feel like here's like the #1 team right now. They just won the event. Isn't this sort of the match where Envy will just show up and maybe they'll just come out 3-0 and you're like, what the hell?
I think that's what the guys were saying on the desk. It's sort of like they wouldn't be surprised if Envy won this match, because you could say LG, pressure's sort of off them right now. The problem is they're still in 6th place, I believe, in their division, so they need some wins under their belt.
And on the other end, I think I believe that's the same for Envy. I can't picture LG's standing, but Envy, I believe, is in 6th right now.
Yeah, both are.
Certainly teams that have been, well, I mean, struggling a little bit in the Pro League, but it's hard to say that about LG since they're coming off a major win. You got to think LG, obviously the heavy favorites in this particular series, but we'll get locked and loaded into the map 1, and I don't know, we'll see what's on full display here, because obviously it's a little bit different playing at something like Dallas-Fort Worth, having that major event, and then coming here. I mean, the just kind of the vibes of everything you have between the arena here and at a major tournament, very different.
I mean, Sunday LG were the fan favorites.
I talked to Gunless after the win. He's like, dude, I've just never heard that before. When they were chanting MVP, he's like, he thought they were chanting for Matt. He told me, he's like, I thought they were chanting for Matt at the time. He said, well, he's probably the biggest name coming off of his tenure with Optic and everything.
I'm sure
he said he thought it was for Matt. He's like, when it was for me, it's like, I've never felt that before. It was incredible, which is crazy to hear, because he's had some incredible moments, obviously, but he was like near tears, I thought, when I spoke with him after.
Yeah.
He was fired up.
Yeah, but I think the one thing that really just sticks out to me for Luminosity at Fort Worth was their search and destroy. Like, in their winners bracket run, when they go up against a team like Gen G and they have to win 2 searches in that series, like, that's impressive. They were winning a lot of their search and destroys. We know how good of a respawn team they can be, just by looking at their roster.
Yeah, but to be fair, I mean, their hardpoint, at least when you look back at the beginning of the league, wasn't very good either. It was really just their control that was sort of keeping them in series. But then once it all started to click, yeah, it'd be great if you improve one mode, but when you get a massive improvement in both, well, that's where you win tournaments, as they really didn't have a massive weakness. But that's the guy that is going to be a big talking point, well, from Fort Worth and now Classic. Him and Slackton are a lot of fire kind of coming into it throughout the course of the first few weeks. Classic, you saw his stats kind of versus the Maddox, versus the Rampart, what he was able to do. I mean, he had one hell of an event, and I think he got some of the haters off his back for sure.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe some fans as well.
Yeah,
let's go Rampart, right? You got some Rampart fans out there. But it's interesting, right? We're going to a seaside map, and You're obviously going to have John and Slack with those saws, but what will Classic be running? And it's looking like it's going to be that Rampart. You can just tell by those attachments.
And if I remember correctly, this is where I think they played. It was spliced in the Winners Bracket Final on this particular map, but they looked very, very strong. So you should expect to see some great things out of Luminosity, but what can Envy bring as we get right into the first hardpoint? LG find the kills, they'll get set up inside, and there's the Rampart. Classic able to pick up Silly as he's trying to hold the back barrel, but not going to be the gun of choice of a player flying in.
I think just the strength of the Rampart is it does have that 3-bullet kill range. Yes, the rate of fire is a little bit slower. It doesn't have the best attachments, right? It doesn't have like quick draw. It doesn't have stock. And it can be very tough in some of those situations, but you have that FMJ, you can pre-fire a lot of different things, and that 3-bullet kill range, that's very quick.
Well, neither team really able to get a ton of time off of that first hard point, as now we'll take a look at the rotation to next. After the bloodbath that goes down, it's really just Gunless left up. They get the back spawns, and they'll get set up for next as they start to accrue some points. We'll focus on Gunless, the MVP's POV, as he was just, we know what he's capable of. He can turn it on and be the best player in the game at any moment, but he had a really, really good forward.
Has he been the best player these last, like, 3 years? I think since IW, you could probably argue
make a case for it, yeah, without question.
I mean, the guy's just been so consistent ever since he's really won his first title in IW.
It's crazy to think about how much we hype him up, considering it's really not been that long since he's been competing. Like, you saw Pac-Man and some other guys do like top 10 lists. A lot of those lists don't even have him on, because you just think about what a short period he's actually been involved. But in the period he's been there, it's just nuts, man.
Yeah, I have no doubt that if you made me make a top 10 in a couple of years, this will be on there.
Yep. Oh, man. But after the first hard point where not a lot of time comes in, this one a healthy chunk for Luminosity. They're going to have the rotation up the fountain as well. We're on Assault's POV as he's starting to look for an opening. Envy will be in a 4v5 situation. It's still going to be Silly racking up the final seconds as they'll now try to take this first push. It's the Rampart on Statue in the back, and Assault, incredible shot. That's the opening, beams him off of the cover. And is that the opening they're going to need? 2 down now for either side. They try to push out the back. Gunless going to get picked, but there's one more player remaining to try and hold this. It's Slacked.
They both run out of ammo.
Get caught reloading, but Slack gets the ammo up first. But there is still a presence here from Envy to try and disrupt.
Yeah, great patience out of Slack. We'll see where the spawns come in. I think LG are going to be able to hold on. Classic, he's going to find a couple of kills. So these last 30 seconds, LG should be able to get all these points, but a great discipline out of Slack. Just wait, just hold on. He knew the flurry was coming. Him and Gunless held the back.
Yeah, and even though Classic was picked first, which looked like he might be the first domino and them dropping on the hard point, he does come back up. He gets 2 big ones, a big part of why they were able to hold on. Slack now in this back alley, doing damage 2, maybe the 3rd. There's the melee, 4th in, Slack wiping Envy off the board. Incredible play from him as we get into barrels, and now he's 275 off streaks. We'll see if he can keep it going as the grab slam getting very close.
And it just feels like these guys are in their stride. Like they're just all so confident right now. It just doesn't matter who we go on board with. Like, you know, John's around even, but everybody is just flourishing right now on the side of LG.
That's what you'd expect from the recent champions. But we'll see if he can get this streaks. Grab slam up any moment. Now just 75 off. Has that available as he's holding the front push. It'll be Classic and Formal dealing with the other side. Bit of a split push opportunity with 25 seconds remaining for Envy. Nice job shouldering, but he will get gunned. That's a big kill from Assault, just making sure no streaks come in. But as soon as we transition off the Slack, it's John that's only a kill off. So despite the fact you have a big deficit, at least if you're Envy, you kill 2 players that are very close to getting streaks. And on a map like this and a lead like this for LG, you get streaks on both those players. That might be ball game.
I think it is ball game, and instead, Envy is still very much in this game. Yes, it's a 100-point lead, but it's Seaside. Yeah. You know, if you get a couple of hills in a row, you're right back in it, and then that could lead to some streaks from them. So it's a huge rotation. We'll see if they're able to hang on in.
Yeah, and
you do have a couple of specialists starting to load up on the side of both sides, but 4 go down. And, well, make it all 5. That's just a clean wipe, and LG breakthrough.
Another chance to get streaks here as Gunless is very close. Takes the next gunfight. There it is. Lightning Strike now available. So John and Slack weren't able to get it done, but the MVP, he's now ready and waiting, locked and loaded with the Lightning. One player tagged down to 5 HP, but able to get away with their life. Slack maybe trying to set up a grab slam, just holding the edge for now as he has help looking over him. Assault pre-firing, Assault sliding in. And through comes the melee. But if Envy's going to make a run, you got to think it's got to start this next hard point.
Just see, it's might just be a little bit too late. I mean, you have the streaks now on Gunless. Tag 5 starting to come in. Big kill out of Aches to find those 2 on rotation. That'll give them an opportunity maybe to win Courtyard, but Gunless still alive towards the back.
No, we
Does
just
have
saw
the help of John, but he might just
in our first series of the day, though, we saw a massive comeback here, so it's certainly not over. What was, I mean, Heretics is up, what, 120?
Don't know.
That ballpark?
They didn't have many streaks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well,
but really, it was the specialist usage down the stretch from UIU that was a major difference. Maybe if you're Envy, you can get a huge edge there.
But the problem is you just had another team wipe on the side of Envy. All 5 go down on the rotation with still 30 seconds left. And again, LG can cheat this. They can cheat this because they have the streaks for Fountain. They don't have to worry about that rotation as much.
Well, LG coming off a big victory at our most recent major, now up over 100 points. Let's get to an Astro Gaming listening with Luminosity.
I'm actually 44.
I'm roasted, yeah, I know.
Dude, three there. There's 2 more, Pierce.
Oh my God,
baby!
There's Sandor.
I full fucking streaks! I full fucking streaks!
Get that ult time, Pierce.
Oh my God, what the fuck's going on?
You can streak our rotation, Pierce.
I'm going to. I'm going to. Yo, one's on me on the hold. One's on me on the hold. That's all I see. There's 2 barrels. 2 barrels. I'm gonna pop them here. I'm gonna pop them here, okay?
I got cafe.
I should spawn in the back. I should spawn in the back. I did.
Can someone get my yellow?
Yeah, I'll pick up yellow.
Get yellow.
I box once.
Yo, mid lane. Assault, shock.
Force cafe.
2 shock mid lane.
Drop in the lane.
Yeah, mid lane shock. Good job.
One mid lane. Let's go.
Yeah, top kill, I think.
Oh,
You're fine. You're fine. I'm trying to kill you. I'm trying to kill you. I'm fucking over you. Cup is dead. Cup is dead.
Mid-map silly.
Oh, Gunless is 25-9, and from that listen-in, I think it's safe to say he's having fun, Joe.
I think he had full streaks a couple of times, but yeah, Gunless. That was a great one.
Oh,
And
I always love
rotation, and this should be the game.
Whenever somebody swears, I always have Ethan in my ear like, oh no, and I'm like, oh, let it go. They're having fun.
This is great.
I want content, and that's what you were getting. As Luminosity blowing the doors off of Envy right now. They are being smoked. 10 more points needed now for Luminosity. They still have a Lightning available on Gunless. And we'll see if they can clinch it here. They've got the rotation. 4 going to be spawning in the back. It's going to be that number 1. I think it's John that has to deal with the pressure on the other end of things as he gets dropped. Envy still alive in this game. And yeah, we've seen some crazy comebacks here, but this would be the craziest I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you, I mean, they've used everything though. Like, you have nothing on the side of Envy. We saw at that Fountain Hill, you had the Tempest come through from Assault. Hook had a big grab slam, so it's gonna be tough for them to hang on. Gunless still has a Lightning to work with. LG may not win here, but just as I say that, Slacked able to find 2. So there's still a chance, but yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, tough. I think you could use a more extreme adjective to describe
very tough
what this would take for Envy to do. But now Luminosity are in. These should be the final moments. 1 player with a chance to get in. That's Assault. He's going to get dropped. It's a Rampart, a classic, as he goes massive as well. And, well, doesn't look like a hitch in the step for Luminosity as they look dominant map 1.
Yeah, there's just no weakness.
Did that answer your question? Did it answer your question immediately?
There's no weakness across the board. This is what I expect. Like, I guess when you look at Optics win at Vegas, the difference is a week later they weren't at Pro League, right? They had the issues with Dashy. They had to wait a couple of months. Those, 6 weeks allowed teams to catch up. For the side of LG, you just won a week ago. Like, you just won that tournament.
Well, it's been interesting to see though about I just thinking back to the beginning of the year, kind of these quote unquote super teams, I guess. When you looked at it, like you looked at Optic as they came together with that squad. You looked at 100 Thieves, all the talent. You looked at LG. Like, those are the 3 where you looked at just the players and you're like, oh, dear God, they're gonna be a force. But Optic come out there, they're great immediately. For 100 Thieves and LG, it's been much more of a climb. But now that they're getting to like their full potential, I think it's just terrifying for everybody else in the league.
Yeah, I think that's the correct answer, because again, when you look, just every point of view, everybody's positive. Like, just feels like their confidence is as high as it could be.
All right, well, Slack, he was a guy that was under a lot of flack just really a month ago coming into it. He had an incredible event. A big part of the reason they were able to bring it back and make a run the second week of the Pro League. He actually had a chance to talk to Jess. Curious to hear his thoughts.
Thank you, Clint. Yeah, well, he had very few thoughts this time. He kept it short and simple. But, for the first time, I walk up to LG and everybody knows what's going on. A lot of times I feel bad kind of interrupting these guys right as they're about to play. But, I start to walk up and Slack sees me from across the studio and goes, Jess, I got something good for you. He goes, all right, well, when you're doing your interview, when you're telling them what we said, just say this: bless the Rampart. I talked to Luminosity and they all said, bless the Rampart. So they are obviously coming off of that win in Fort Worth, feeling very, very good. So bless the Rampart. Now, over on the side of Envy, I did talk to Aches, and, you know, he was in a little bit more of a somber mood. He said, well, you know, we're feeling all right, we're chilling. And he said, really, our whole strategy here is we're going to have to try to shut down Gunless. He said that's what, you know, he's kind of LG's powerhouse, and they are very reliant on Gunless getting hot. So as long as we can shut down Gunless, we should be good. That's all I've got. Back on over to the casters.
Thank you. Yeah, you mentioned the somber mood on the side of Aches. Yeah, if you mentioned something earlier, like LG have no pressure right now, 100%. They just want an event, but very, very opposite for Envy. I think you can say, I know we've mentioned this a couple times, but basically everyone on the chopping block outside of Hoop. I think, not necessarily that they're going to be dropped. I'm saying they're all, I think, fighting for their jobs in some sense when it comes to this Envy side. Well, who knows what the hell's going to happen, but I think all of them feel pressure, like a ton of pressure with regards to whether or not they're going to be on this team come the next roster move before London. Do you think it's fair to say?
I think so. I think they have to go 3-1 minute. If they were to lose this match, like, they would have to go 3-1, and maybe a top 6 placing at London would potentially save this team.
Do you almost think it's better for Envy to struggle and make a team change?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, for the organization, like for that organization, it's better to struggle make a team. Because if you go 3-1 and don't change, like,
it's the same story,
yeah.
right? It just feels like we're going in that constant circle of, hey, we had a half-decent placing, so I guess we'll figure it out, and then you don't.
So you think about FaZe, like how they were for like years. It's like they do just enough to continue sticking together. But who knows? I mean, yeah, it's a team. Who knows? They can stick together and win London for all I know. I haven't made my pick yet. I'm waiting. I'm waiting until after these 2 weeks.
You're waiting until after these 2 weeks.
And I'm picking the winner.
The thing is after those 2 weeks, we still have like 3 weeks till the event, and I think a lot of things always change in that time frame. They always do. But I think on the side of Envy, yeah, Hoop, he's a franchise player, right? We know Hoop's not going anywhere, or if he is, it's going to be for quite a bit to go elsewhere. Silly's a tough one for me because I think Silly has done his job. I think he's played very consistent throughout the year. Apathy as well. Apathy is another one. You just know at some point he's going to turn it on. And if he is, you want him on your team.
Who was I talking to? Who was I talking to before Hot Mic? I can't remember if it was, I think it was Exotic that said it, but he said he thinks Silly's like a top 5 Maddox. Yeah, I mean, I think he's been very good, but he said that. I hadn't really thought of lists. Like, I don't really think about top 5s all that often, but the way he said it, he just said with confidence, I think top 5 Madison. All right, well, a lot of confidence in what he's been able to do, but he has been great.
And remember, too, like, Apathy wanted to run a Maddox. Like, what happens if they go for another SOG? And you can put Apathy as a Maddox, and maybe he's more comfortable.
Who knows? Who knows? But now to the Search and Destroy, we saw big improvements from Luminosity. And for a lot of these players, I know this is kind of dating back to last year when you talk about Envy. I mean, this is one of those moments that was super up and down for them. Like, they look lights out in Search or just got obliterated. What will they show us now? As Aches is able to connect with the sniper, it's going to be a 4 versus 4. Slack just barely able to tuck away into a corner as he's going to need assistance from his squad mates. He's actually able to get a kill. Headshots in for Slack in Classic. 3v2 advantage to Luminosity, as they've just got to defend this bomb. Pressure on Aches and Assault to try and make the play. One's been dropped. Assault last man up. There's the trade. I think Classic picks up 2 in the round, and LG off to a strong start in Search.
A great job. I think it was Class who found a couple of those kills. Rampart John had one as well.
I think there you saw that, like, 3-bullet range.
Yeah, I mean, you heard the interview. They're very happy that they figured out the Rampart's a good gun to use.
Oh, LG, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people probably think the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, even, like, going back to Fort Worth, like, the winners finals and finals with Splice, it affected them. Like, they were just trying to figure it out, how many should we use, 1 or 2? It's just changing. It's changing that meta, and people are just trying to figure out how to stop LG.
For me as a commentator, I love it. I love an evolving meta. First blood, though, to Envy. Slack to get pushed out as well. The Envy squad rolling through Luminosity. Even from early in the game, we saw them really be strong on the offensive end of things towards this towards this inner site. Just overpowering teams towards it.
And you saw what Apathy was doing towards those outskirts. If you were just confused as to why he wasn't finishing the kill, he was making sure Silly got the bomb plan in before he got that kill. So Silly could get more of a specialist, could work on his streak, but a couple of offensive rounds back to back. You're going to see Apathy here just say, hello, I see you. He's just waiting right there. And Assault comes on through, able to find that kill.
Try to give the kills to some of the heavy hitters instead of maybe the Tech 5. Assault, I think, for a player that really improved, I mean, I think statistically he definitely had, at least early, I mean, he was looking really, really strong at Fort Worth, and he's been a guy that's needed to step up. I know we talked about a lot of the other players, but Assault's been considered one of the top ARs in the game.
Supposed to be, to me, he's supposed to be a star.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a star talent.
Oh, sniper out for Formal. On the LG end of things, just looking for an opening pick. Pre-aiming it, but not able to connect onto Silly. And this weapon almost seemed cursed for him at the toe. Finally, it was like 6 hit markers in a round, it felt like. Might be another offensive victory, as is a nice advantage. 4v3 for LG. Formal pushing forward with the pistol. Just trying to hold the angle. That's going to be a stun. I think he just stunned himself. I'm pretty sure he stunned himself. And that'll be the round to LG. I was waiting for Formal to get stunned. Where did that go?
Yeah, no, I think it just hit sort of the door, like clipping.
Yeah.
Clips sometimes. And well, it got stuck. But Apathy was in a tough spot anyway, because he had this player who was on the flank, able to find that kill. Then John just going to help out Formal. But LG switch it up, switch bomb sites, and still a very successful round for them.
Well, now let's see what Envy do on offense. Last time we saw towards that inner site here on payload, aggressive play, rolled through LG. Do they mix it up? Cluster available for Aches. And they're going to do just that. This time they're going to take the hit towards B. You do have Formal and Classic on the tail end of this. Aches versus Formal. The sniper battle. Aches not able to hit the shot. It's actually ICR out for Formal now as he's getting tagged up and backed up. Trying to take the angle, but nice team shot in from LG. But Aches still holding with the sniper as Formal's face gets removed. On the flank, comes out, and he doesn't finish the kill, but they're able to get that final bullet in. Man advantage now to Envy. Gunless will even the odds as he's hunting around the flank. It's Aches that he has to deal with. They're playing a little bit of ring around the rosy. John does a good job.
The fact he gets one there is so big. So big, and then Gunless on the flank, able to find 2 more.
Yeah, I think he got 3 in total there, just obliterating the flank.
But the fact that John just gets 1 forces Envy into a tough spot. It makes that a 1 versus 2 instead of a 2 versus 2. Yeah, Gunless just played that so patiently. Sorry, it would have made that a 3 versus 2 instead of a 2v2. But Formal, I think a little cocky there, right? Testing Ace's sniping ability. I think after you get that first blood, you probably don't repeat that. You know Gunless is going on the flank.
It's not like you can hit it with a strafe or anything. It's an ICR.
No, it's an ICR, yeah. He tried to hit the slide, but you slid right up into his aim.
So defensive round in the books now as LG will take a 3-1 lead. Classic knocked down to 15 HP, but able to get away. The cluster then comes in. That won't connect, but allows Aches to start to move up. As I say that, though, he's being caught in the crossfire. Gunless takes him down. Gunless fighting 2, though, with bomb. The trade doesn't come in. What a play from Apathy to at least get 2. Formal does get Apathy, but they're at a man disadvantage now. Plus and that flank from Hook.
Yeah, who's showing all the way around. You have a couple of players set up towards that window.
Classic just picked it up. Classic just picked it up. Can he connect to the shots? And there, maybe not the best spot for a Rampart, but with a 3-shot range, does finish the kill. Turns into a 2v2 with 40 seconds remaining. Classic spots another, and he's just going to have to hold this with the L trigger. Silly looking for his first kill, and there he's going to find it. Now 1v1, Formal.
He's chasing it.
Versus Silly.
Well, I think he was just playing the 50-50 game, and he doesn't see him rotate through his spawn, so he's just going to go right to B. Silly's still playing the outskirts, so this should be a safe plant. Now it's just a guessing game for Silly. How much time does it waste for him to get all the way across the map? And now, with how many angles there is to guess, this is always a tough 1 versus 1 situation for the diffuser.
He has a stun, though. Stun checks, that'll give him some information that he's on the other side. And he's going to go straight into heaven. Will he catch Formal? Formal comes sliding in, can't hit the shot. Silly with the clutch. He'll take the smart route as he goes back underneath.
Yeah, we've seen that a few times.
Yeah, it's a dangerous jump from top catwalk. Nice clutch there from Silly, as those were his first 2 kills in the round and 2 big ones to bring this to 2-3.
Yeah, I think it keeps Envy in this game. I mean, LG go up 4-1, and they were dominating on their offensive rounds. Continue to switch it up. Just really rotating between that A and B site. And, well, the numbers, it was, what, a 2 versus 3 situation that, you know, they were able to force into a 1 versus 1. But he guesses the right staircase, had the stun to help him out as well.
Honestly, the big gunfight was the one on Classic. Classic had that pre-aim with the Rampart. He had just obliterated Hook with that at close range, but Silly smokes him. gives them a chance in the 1v1. So it was all offense early, now all defense. (3-2 LG).
He wants to challenge him. Says, you know what, Aches? Go ahead, pull out the sniper. So here we go. There's the hit marker, but Classic able to clean it up. So it's basically a kill for Formal.
He is good at hit markers. One of the best in the game.
Yeah, he's pretty good with the sniper.
Slack back on and up. Classic able to make one pay. Classic knocks down two. The third is there. Classic obliterates everybody in tunnel. Had a teammate to work with his bait, and Classic just shuts down everybody. He had a monster game one. I know we were talking about Gunless's incredible game, but Classic.
I hope this is the best play. I gotta watch this. I gotta see what he did to these guys in tunnel with it. I hope it's that. Yeah, it is. He got what, four this round.
I think he got 3 here. And he got a little bit of help by one teammate that kind of baited in front of him after this. So was it 4 that he got in total there?
Yep.
Nice little slide. A great game one. I didn't see the overall stats at the tail end of it, but he was at one point he was leading the way. I think it's 17 and 12. So he definitely had a solid game. And now
you didn't know he's a big Rampart guy.
Yeah. 9 and 4. You can see though he does have what? He doesn't have FMJ2 on. Fast Mag's on instead. Which I think pretty much every single time we saw the Rampart, at least at forward, I think it was FMJ2. At least every time I saw it. Was it LG the team that was running Dead Silence a lot of? No, it was Hunter Thieves. Right?
Hunter Thieves.
Yeah.
But I think just due to not really having a pistol much anymore. You have that extra point, and it's like, you know what?
Yeah, no. I was just, for some reason I was thinking it was LG, but yeah, it was definitely Hunter Thieves. Man advantage to LG. Up 4-2 in this one. One of the back trackers, they'll spot him. Formal makes Aches pay as he hits the snipe.
And coming in though, he's got to be careful on that bomb. Still alive somehow. I think that was Hook inside to say if Hook has any other weapon besides a SAR, that's probably a kill. Instead, Formal's gonna hit that bomb down. Now you have a 2 versus 3. Thought the frag was gonna connect on the Formal after he got that snipe kill, but just able to stay alive.
Now Hook and Assault gonna try and get the clutch, and I like this. Clash just laying prone, not ready for it. Nice positioning there. It's a little bit of an off angle. Now Hook has to make this 1v2. He's only got 20 seconds to work with. He's got to get on the hunt. They're both waiting for him. Another kill for Classic. And it's like I was talking, I think, Formal at the event, and just asked him about kind of the Rampart and Classic's play, and he's like, oh, I think it was before, like, even before, like, everyone was talking about it. Like, this is, like, Friday, maybe. I think it was, like, late Friday. And I was like, yeah, I saw him with an ABR on a break. I see him with the Rampart. Like,
he tried the ABR quite a bit.
I saw them using it. And I was like, what's going on with that? This is before, like, it just became that was LG's thing. And he's like, I don't know, man. He's rocking it. He's having fun. I was like, okay. There's, like, Nick's comfortable. And sometimes that's just, it's just huge, man. Somebody that's maybe been, I don't know, struggling times from a KD standpoint just to get comfortable. It can certainly
I mean, you want your guys as comfortable as possible, right? That's why we always talk about role changes and who wants to run what. And I mean, if he's figured out something that works for him, let him rock.
One more round now needed for Luminosity. 11 and 4 from Classic. Gunless. Can't finish it, but he will back down Apathy. Now Classic's going to go ahead and slide out. The shots will connect. That's his 12th now on the board. I think that was a 7 streak. Make it 8 streak. The Rampart boys flying at you. 2v2 now. Classic has a lightning strike to work with. Formal has the Tempest out, hits the shot. That's the game. 2-0, Luminosity.
And they just ran away with that one. I mean, it was pretty back and forth early on.
Well, I mean, really, if Silly doesn't have that clutch, no. I mean,
well, the first round or second round.
Yeah. I mean, if he doesn't clutch that, I mean, you're maybe looking like a 6-1 scoreline, but Silly does what he can to keep it close, but after that point, it's basically all LG and all Classic as he has a stellar game 1, a stellar game 2. LG do not appear to have slowed down whatsoever from their first place finish at our last major for the Call of Duty World League. Still firing on all cylinders. They look the team to beat. You gotta be scared if you're any other squad in the CWL. We'll be right back. We are back to what has proved to be a lopsided series thus far. LG has comfortably taken maps 1 and 2. They're looking good, Joe.
They absolutely are, and I think we're learning a valuable lesson here. If you're good with something, you should probably use it.
Yeah, that's probably true, Joe. But now can Envy fight back in the control? One of the modes that they've proved to be tough in. They've definitely brought back and extended some series after going down in holes, and it started with the control. But LG just look too damn good right now.
Yeah, and you can even see on the side of Envy, just, I don't know, they look stressed, like they're just trying to figure things out, but right now they're just being outclassed, just simply outclassed. And that was one of their better S&D maps. How many times have we talked about Envy on Payload? It was one of their early picks because a lot of teams avoided that early on. Even at Vegas, it had a very low pick rate. But Envy, we saw at the PLQ, brought it out, very successful on it, and it's one they stuck with. But right there, LG just looked great.
We'll see if Envy can talk through things and make some sort of run to make this series a bit more interesting than it was, at least in the first 2 maps. Maybe you're hoping LG just get too comfortable. They're like, hey, we smoked in the first 2 maps. We'll easily take map 3. Maybe you catch them off guard a little bit, and that's where the series starts to swing. We just saw a reverse sweep in our previous series as Red was able to bring it back and get a big win. And that's a roster in turmoil with Red that was able to bring it back. I mean, EG, I don't know if it's the same. Obviously, they didn't announce it was being dropped, but I don't know, a roster that is probably scared there could be a change in the coming weeks.
I think that's always it. It's like after an event, because obviously we go, roster change, period, like event, Pro League. Because they didn't make a change, the event wasn't really used. The event was seen as, okay, this might be like the last chance we have this roster. Let's see what we can do. And then you go into the Pro League, and again, Envy got 12th. They're not too happy right now.
Well, speaking of 12, Luminosity's record since the Pro League in control is 12-2. So they have been,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like the best record.
Very, very, very good in this specific mode. See if Envy can surprise him. It's a one-man hit to A. Apathy likely going to be caught, but it's really just a distraction for these 2 players as they try to hit B. That's going to get thwarted as well as it gets shut down. I think you saw a double Rampart out from Classic and John, at least off the opening break. As Envy just trying to look for some sort of opening.
Yeah, I mean, Envy were just trying to catch them off guard, go towards that B side. Apathy put a little bit of pressure on A. Just to maybe force a rotation out of the B guys. But after that, it goes all LG. And then on the opposite end, towards A, Envy are able to come back, find all the kills, and they're able to capture that. So now 2 minutes to work with. But this is always where it gets difficult for that attacking team to capture that B point.
This first push could be big for Envy. You'd love to get some sort of pressure on the back line, but that pressure gets obliterated. As Gunless, a little bit of a combo there. Maddox to go with the cluster grenade to thwart that early push, and now it's going to be Classic on the flank. He's got 2 lined up. Nice patience. I was going to say nice patience to guarantee himself a kill, but he actually doesn't finish it, but he's got John to back him up and at least knock down 2. But there is a presence here from Apathy and Hook to try and make a play towards the spawn of LG. Slack, though, still inside of that broken building, making it difficult for that lane to be approached by the Envy side.
You see what Envy's trying to do?
Oh, he's just, Slack pushed, I think he pushed all the way up to kind of mid behind the truck and just gunned one as he's coming out of spawn.
Yeah, Envy go 4 on the flank. Silly trying to stay alive on the other pass. Now they'll try to work towards this broken side, top of the street. They have to deal with Slack and not able to do so yet, and Slash is trying to be a nuisance, just be so annoying. Hook is finally able to take him down, but you have no presence anywhere else. So Formal with this ICR is going to try to shut things down with Classic.
Yeah, no pressure, no presence, but you're at least kind of all square in the lives department. At least you're not trailing big. Classic, though, will do his best to shift that advantage a bit. Aches does get a pick with the ICR. They're trying to now funnel into Sushi. One's going to slide across. He's going to get wall banged. Classic has to back up and reload, but I think the shots he got in did bait in a team kill, which will slow down the push a bit from Envy. But now they've got multiple players inside of Sushi, and here comes a massive push. If they can pick Formal off the back, get him out of this position at 18, this could be exactly the opening they need, and they're able to get it.
Yeah, Hook and Silly able to find all the kills, but the pressure's still here. Silly, though, able to help out Hook, and now you have Ace with that ICR. Just 5 lives left for LG. Well, 2 ticks are in. Aches down with the ICR, and that should be around. A great job by Envy. They find those opening kills, and as soon as they take down Classic inside Sushi, they get all map position.
Well, yeah, that's what was good. That's why the one point I kind of pointed out the lives, because you still were sitting, even though it felt like I guess it felt like to me it should have been more lopsided towards LG in the lives department. Like after a couple push shots forward, after you saw Slack getting kills off spawn, he was set up and broken. Like I thought it was going to be a big advantage to LG, but they're really only up 1 life.
You'll see, like, not only will there be just Slack, typically there's like 2 people up near that broken area just being annoying, but I think because Envy hit the flank so many times, you saw it was just Formal and Classic. You had 3 guys towards the flank of LG just trying to thwart that push, watching the flank, and that makes your front side pretty weak. Right, so that allowed Envy to find those opening kills.
And if you have that second player, if they're maybe pushed up to the truck or in that kind of corner by back alley, well, then Slack's not dropping to the player that comes out. He only has to worry about really the push inside of Broken. But now we'll get locked into round 2. Envy does get a big round win. They haven't had a lot of bright spots so far in this series. Now 1 to at least write home about as they get it on the board. Silly, he had some big kills to the Rampart towards the tail end of that round. It's got him close to streaks. Now he's even closer. 85 off.
Trying to stack B. You can see all 3 players. You have Hook trying to work the flank. Apathy is able to find 1, but the last 3 players are here. Are they going to try to contest this last second or just let it go? They're going to let it go. Maybe try to get to kills afterwards. But actually, they're just going to try to rotate out. Hook's still just trying to be a nuisance with this Maddox, but gets gunned down by Classic.
Silly still working on these streaks. Wisely backed it up. I thought he was going to hold in a post, maybe try and take a one-on-one, but he's going to back it all the way up. Might need a little bit of help. Not going to need it at all. He does the dirty work himself. Gets 2 kills. Hook then comes on the tail end of it to find the final player. Is at least the first defensive hold is strong, and now Silly has these streaks. The Hellstorm comes in immediately. He's 12-3, up to 7 in a row. Silly taking over here in the control.
Still a lot of chances, though, for LG. Apathy and Ace still locking down top middle. That was 1 player who went all the way around. That was Yunless. So just staggering the pushes.
Yeah, one of the tough part, I mean, I know you have that lightning, but it's not like they have to push towards B, right? They only have to get into A, so likely not going to be all that influential if 1 break does come in from Luminosity. Now LG sitting 2 deep on the flank. It'll be Classic and Formal that are trying to push around. It's going to be Hook looking to pick it up. He does just that. Nice shots from him. He's now 250 off streaks. Still 1. Tuck to play a little bit of ring around the rosy here at underpass. Hook's going to get the timing there as well. Nice job by Hook.
Still on that streak as well. And once again, it's Apathy and Assault. This is what I was talking about, right, with Slacked. On the opposite round, it was him alone, but Apathy and Assault were pushed up. But they get taken down. Here's maybe a chance for Luminosity. Might be their only chance. Yes, they have 10 lives left, but they're finally all here.
You had a 7 streak from Silly, now 7 in a row from Hook. Some incredible individual moments here to get streaks working in their favor and maybe get a 2-0 edge in this. Up massively in the lives department. A team kill comes in for LG as well. And this will be it. This will be their final shot at it. If you're Envy, can you get the second round win? Can you also get streaks onto Hook? Because if you go into the next round with 3 streaks on offense, you think you can likely close it out there. I hear him screaming, 3 holes, 3 holes. They come flooding through. The crossfire, though, is in. Slack going to be the last one. And he will drop. So another great round from Envy. It was looking to hand LG, maybe it's their 3rd loss in control since the start of the Pro League.
And defending that A side as well. Not as easy as Envy showed it. But I feel like Envy didn't put, or LG didn't put too great of an attacking effort. They got to the point in 1 time with 10 lives left. But a team killer 2 came in, gives Envy the numbers. And as I said, you have all the specialists now on the side of Envy. You've used nothing.
I'd love to know what that percentage is. I don't know if JP can even track that stat, but like, I guess percentage wins if you lose B like out the gate on this particular map, like how often you're actually able to hold that. I mean, I would think it's pretty damn low, but
my guess would be about 30%.
Just my gut would tell me it's somewhere in that ballpark, too. Envy directly into A. They've got a 4 stack right now.
Yeah, you can see the adjustment out of Envy. Instead of throwing just 1 guy at B, they know LG will have to rotate off their last break. So they just 5 stack it. They use the War Machine as well to at least just capture the point. They've lost nobody yet. So beautifully done by Envy.
And you get the streaks on Hook as well. So like War Machine used, TAC 5 used, but streaks earned. A little bit of a balancing act out of Envy. You've got a nice spread here from LG to at least make this difficult. You've kind of got them trapped inside that A site. They know they're trapped, and they're going to go ahead and use a streak. Slack! Slack comes in! Give me the Slack slams in the chat! Slack slams in the chat! What was that? Is that the first 5-man we've seen?
Yeah, I think it is. Plus, you had the lightning strike as well. Slack.
What was that?
I mean, Envy were just huddled up after they captured that point. Plus, they call the lightning in.
A guy that's been knocked for his specialist use. What a hit that was.
I think he's redefined what the Slack Slam is the past.
That deletes any bad play ever.
I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, for me it does. Oh no, but like that's what I was bringing up. Like the layer he had in the map from LG, they had them pinned inside there. They had him set up, and obviously he isn't going thinking he's got the whole squad. Like they're huddled up before an offensive play in the NFL, but they just go in. He just goes in, and wow. I mean, they're still down 2-0, but that was pretty incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that was their only play, though, because they knew the lightning was coming in, so they had to try to back on up away, and, well, he just goes forward. Tempest is called in from Assault, able to connect once, but that player just gets right back up. But they're still investing a lot. They want to win this round. They have the streaks to do so.
One looks a lot less cool than 5, though.
Yeah, but it still looked a little cool because he was flying.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like Kung Fu.
You've had it so much used by, that's what, 4 specialists we've now seen come out of Envy. Only thing they have left is going to be the Vision Pulse. They've thrown a lot to close the game here, and that's the type of thing that can happen. You use a streak, you use 4 of your specialists, that may open up a window there for a comeback from LG.
I think what the strategy is and what they're going for is they find enough with the specialist that they know in round 5 they'll have them, and try to force it out of LG. Try to force it so they can't win the next offense, because that's what LG is doing right now. You know, they got smoked on their last offensive win. So how do you try to win that? You use the specialist in your favor. You still have Gunless with War Machine, but that'll do it. So if you're Envy, job done. It's just going to be tough.
Slack's like,
that was a big round.
Slack's over halfway back to one because he gets a 5-man. It's like after that, he's halfway back to his next grab slam. Envy looks so good in the first 2 rounds, but this time it'll be LG as they'll post one on the Bortus. They find the final kill in Apathy. Not much he can do with the SOG in this position. Doesn't want to give them any more progression, but there's the wall bang as Gunless takes off the back of his skull.
I wonder what the play of the game will be. I can only have one guess.
Can we see this one more time? No. There we go. Here I come! And that was not the best view.
Just see the bodies just flying.
It's a massacre inside of showers. I wish I could have seen the Twitch chat during that.
You go back and watch it. This is a big round. I think this is one that you just want to close the game out. You don't want to get to round 5 if you're Envy. Try to force a game number 4. For LG, Classic getting close to Vision Pulse, John as well. So you're going to have some specialists start to roll on in for LG. They're trying to get this 8-point right away, and that might be able to do so behind the kills of Gunless and Classic.
On Form is not able to find him, but still one up there. Formal gets the pick with the ICR, so they get the first point very quickly. Gunless has War Machine to work with. Tac 5 available on John as well. Nice play by Silly. Nice movement with the slide. And good work in tandem there with Hook and Apathy. Just shut down the push towards that back courtyard.
This is what we saw in the last defensive round for Envy. They were just so aggressive in the base of LG. Finally, LG gets some breathing room as they take down Aches inside their building. Slack, Gunless, all winning gunfights. This will give them a lot of map pressure. You see the Tac 5 come in. They're inside B now. An opportunity for LG maybe here to win it right away.
And that Tac 5 you saw crucial in 2 spots there. Helps one win a gunfight, helps one hit the cross, but now a streak comes in from Silly and it connects. 3 on the lightning from Silly, and what a huge streak that is. I mean, you're at risk of losing the round if that doesn't come in for you.
Yeah, he finds 3 kills. Now can they get some map pressure? It looks like they will. Is Silly able to find Formal now inside a connector? John takes him down.
Just think how frustrating that is if you're LG. It's like, oh, we got through. We got through. We used the Tac 5. That's how crucial
they're just trying to get back, but it's tough. It's just the reinforcements for Envy are there, and now you only have 12. Well, make it 11 lives left, and you have to deal with this situation again. Like, Aches is already back here. Hook with the Hellstorm right off spawn. Maybe they're trying to find a spawn killer, too. At least slow down the push of LG. But Aches and Silly inside the base.
Only 8 lives left for LG. The defense has been sensational from Envy. First, a long hold at A. Now, a long one at B. There's still a minute on the clock, but not a lot of lives remaining for Luminosity. And still, Assault winning gunfights towards the spawn of LG. This will be it. The final push. No streaks remaining. If you're gunless, slacked, you got to use whatever you can here. Obviously, you lose this, you're done. But you have War Machine.
Envy has to know he has it, though. Like, you know, we're 4 rounds in. You would hope they have flat jacket, but it doesn't really matter because Slack, the last player alive, and he's going to get taken down, and Envy able to bounce back.
What a win there from Envy. Just incredible defense. A 3-1 win. And puts them right back into this series. And that's an impressive victory, just considering how the first 2 maps went. You got smoked. There couldn't have been a lot of positive vibes for them whatsoever. I mean, Luminosity basically chuckling after the first couple of maps with how they were just in cruise control. But now, you throw a punch back, you get a map on the board, and some smiles.
Yeah.
Yep, you like to see that for the Envy side.
And I think just their defenses were so good. They were so strong. LG, I mean, they just got choked out. Like, even if, you know, they get the B side on their first attack, they're able to get that point, you know, things are looking good because that was right off the break.
Well, what was so impressive from Envy, you think, on those 2 defensive rounds?
Yeah, the map control that they had, it just always felt like there was 1 to 2 players in the spawn of LG, and what that does, that just staggers pushes. So you saw it one time where LG finally gets out, and then Silly calls in that lightning strike, but you'll even see here, as we see the end of this game, where Envy is just always there. Like, they find these kills. Look at that bottom left. You'll see up top on the mini-map, it's Aches who goes back street. He's going to have the help of Assault, and they're just being so annoying, forcing split pushes out of LG.
I know it's not all that, but that lightning from Silly. I mean, you don't have that. That is likely, you might win it there if you're LG. You have 3 pushed up, or you at least, let's say, you at least get a tick, 2 ticks.
You at least allow the reinforcements to help
100%.
and to hold the map position. Instead, you find those 3 kills, and then what happens is you can't reinforce the position that you had.
See just the tail end of this final and crucial round from Envy. And you're about to have Grab Slam from Slack. You have Gunless with the War Machine, but it's just, you're not in a great spot to use it. Like, yeah, if you win the opening break and you get them pushed back and you're launching grenades into their spawn and keeping them at bay while you're getting objective points, that's great. But from that spot, like from Broken, you just don't have a good use of the War Machine. So, yeah, I mean, the 1 round Luminosity won you thought would be the big one because you used so much if you were Envy to try and win round 3, but you weren't able to do it. But then you don't even really get to use that next wave from LG. I mean, you never even see a War Machine, I don't think, out of Gunless. So.
I don't think you used it.
Just didn't have the opportunity to do so in that round. We're going to show the Slack Slam one more time, as that is the first 5-man we've seen. Just incredible stuff from him. Just standing, you see the bodies to the floor. That kill feed just looks awesome.
That's just everything you want.
Oh, yeah.
And more.
Yeah.
I mean, you're hoping for 1 or 2 kills.
Yeah.
Especially Slack with his history.
Yeah, right. It's an incredible play, but they don't get the map win, so it's not going to mean that much for LG, except a cool clip and a cool tweet from Slack likely later after the series. But LG still have to try and close this out, or we'll see if Envy can bring it back and maybe push it to a 5th and final map. We'll recap this series here, as you can take a look at. Maps 1 and 2 just not particularly close. I mean, hell, even at Hardpoint, I think the scoreline a little bit more lopsided than it actually turned out to be, as Envy made a little bit of a last-ditch effort over the final minute or 2 of that game. But now we go to Frequency. Hardpoint, I think this has been one for LG. It's been one of kind of their go-to maps at times where they've looked strong. Really, even when they were struggling, like Frequency felt like it was a map that they would work well on just due to the slaying prowess they kind of had.
It's one of the easier maps, I think, just to understand, right? You have a couple of bases, you want the spawns behind them. You know, hills 1 and 4, you control one side, they're coming from the other side. It's a very simple map. And yeah, it usually just comes down to that slay and how quick you can play, and LG brings that.
Despite the fact that a team kill comes in for LG, they still have a chance here, but that chance gets shut down, and Formal, but Slack back in for the 2nd time. He's trying to at least do his best job to contest. The trade will come in on the side of Envy, and coming from the rear is Apathy. Kill feed lights up blue. Envy set up inside as they'll look to have an opening hold.
How do LG respond from this? Do they start to rotate? Do they want to work the back spawns of that second hill. Are they going to try and fight for these 20 seconds? It looks like they're going to fight. The problem is if they get put in a bad situation here, they're going to spawn very far out from hill number 2 and have no time on the board, but they're at least here from the contest. They're going to get those final 10 seconds.
You have rather seen them maybe try to push mid-map?
No, I just
push pipes and try to get it back in a second?
If you don't get it there, then you're in the worst position possible. At least now you have some map position. They're going to try to work through elbow as John guns down Apathy. But the pressure already here. But Ace just going to get inside as Hook finds 2.
Hook basically dismantles the pinch attack that was about to come in from LG. Assault then on the other side dealing with pipes. He's going to have a lot more action here in a moment as that's where they're going to be spawning. He does have Apathy to help him. Team kill through for Envy, but still enough of a presence here to hold. You can see how far they're spawning out right now. Number 10 on the map. John all the way at the opposite elbow towards blue base. As this has been a great opening from Envy. As now Luminosity start to scatter around mid-map and try to take another crack at this. Just need to make sure they don't somehow end up getting these spawns flipped, but they're still safe.
No, so they're going to try and fight the last 15. They already committed to the push. But the rest of the guys who died off this push, Gunless and Slack, already rotated. John able to find 2. Him and Classic just trying to do their best to keep Envy as far pushed back as they can. Now it's on LG to respond. Down about 42 points. As this base does pop up. Now, how did Envy try to break? It looks like they might be just going right for this balcony right away.
Did he get the cluster out? Looks like it got out. It did get Aches, but Aches counters with a cluster of his own. They should all spawn safe. They do all spawn in the back, but you've got that opening on the balcony. You're already on balcony if you're Envy, so you have to contest here. Luminosity doing what they can to trade, but the opening push at least make sure Luminosity can have that kind of perfect hold and really make the comeback happen in this, but there's still a healthy chunk of time with 25 seconds remaining. One player from Envy up in the window. It's Gunless trying to hold this. Has a bit of help. The trade there for LG, and that was a big hardpoint. They needed that to get back in the game.
Yeah, first 2 dominated by Envy. LG able to hold on. You saw what Envy was trying to do. You see Assault who brings out that ICR, and he's just trying to go inside of Elevator and lock that position down. And his goal is just to win one gunfight. The guy who's on that back elbow, if he's able to do that, they can jump in the balcony, just contest the hill a little bit.
And I don't think, did we see any Rampart from Envy in the first 2 maps? I think it came out in the control a bit. Now we're seeing it here as Aches gets 2. So giving LG a little bit of a taste of their own medicine. As Envy working into their repertoire.
And I think that plays just into Ace's playstyle very well. I mean, it's a gun where you can get very aggressive with due to that three-shot kill range. But it's also, we know Ace is very comfortable with the ARs. I think it plays well into his playstyle.
Well, they're looking to get the final 20 seconds here on pipes and the final hard point of our first rotation. LG looking to set up it next. Nice shots from John with the SOG there towards that front lobby. Apathy will push him out. 3 players down here. Nice stun into the back. Gunless should get caught. Classic trying to play from back elbow, does what he can, but it's only 1 before the flank comes in. So the first hard point, even though you're rotated early from LG, they had 3 or 4 players there. Envy just roll through them.
Now Envy keep that 50-point lead. TAC 5 boost to use as well. Plus you have control, and you see what Apathy's trying to do. Trying to get inside this orange base so he can flip spawns. So they make sure they have spawns for hill number 2. War Machine out as well. They're investing a good amount. But will it pay off as John finds those kills and able to stay alive? So maybe a bit of overinvestment on the side of Envy.
Apathy got a nice one-on-one though win back towards kind of their back elbow to make sure they held spawns. There was one player from LG trying to make a play. Who was it that was really close to streaks?
I think it was Apathy. I think he found one.
Okay, so he did get one. I saw it bottom right just for a second. It just feels like, I guess I almost feel like Envy should have more of a lead. I mean, not necessarily, but I feel like they really outplayed Luminosity as far as early rotations to most of these hard points. I guess for LG, they've just played it scrappy enough to kind of keep it close, but it's Hook that comes in on the flank, gets 2. They still have the lead. They have the setup at orange. They're trying to bring this back and push it to a map 5. We heard the comedy with Luminosity early. I want to hear from the side of Envy. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Envy.
You. He's in you.
I'm blocking the back. I'm blocking the back.
You dead.
Nice.
Watch the lobby.
Block the back one more time.
Yep. We have these wave of kills. Push up, Brian.
All right, yeah.
Guys,
I'll start pushing up. Start pushing up.
One guy's mid.
Go mid on me. Nice. One more to your right.
Gotta go. Help him more.
Weak nick. I'm one shot.
There's 2 mid.
Well, spawn out. Spawn far.
It's fine. I have rope in the back.
I need help new.
Left.
Wait, push window.
No, right. I'm one shot, Brian.
Window.
I'm one shot.
Two window. How would he challenge that?
Three. Close right.
Where'd you spawn?
I saw pipes.
Make sure you have flag on. Make sure you have
I have flag on. Oh, he's mid. I'm gonna spawn out. Yeah. He's hitting lobby.
He's already in.
I'm gonna fall off the map.
I have right.
He's already in lobby.
Yeah. Make sure you hold it back.
Top window. I'm holding. We need time.
2 on me. I got Tempest.
Make sure you block the back.
John.
I have a lightning for next hill.
I need help and help.
One.
Yeah, I'm window. Hang on, window.
Yes, grab, I think. Dead.
One more curve. One shot. He hopped up now. And Tempest mouth.
Help me.
Tempest mouth.
Tempest me.
One shot. 4 more.
You got me.
Tempest dead.
Ward dead.
Nice.
Oh, window and balk.
One shot under balk. One bullet under balk. Slid out curve.
John, weak lobby.
Slid out curve.
John's one lobby.
Keep contesting.
Absolute. Man, team kill.
I'm lobby. Yeah, Nick.
Slack's weak.
Don't feed him.
A 30-point advantage for Envy, as they haven't been able to put LG away yet, but they've really led from the beginning, from the get-go. They've had control of this game. You're just waiting for them to really, if they can string together like 2 solid hard points and just push out a big lead, maybe like you saw LG do in the map 1. It's just LG just hovering around. I just think it's going to come down to one big play down the stretch.
And you saw on that blue base, LG, they invested a lot. War Machine and Tempest came out from both Formal and Gunless, able to help them break, but it's been really a tale of 2 bases. On the side of Envy, you controlled hill number 2 in orange just so well. On the opposite end, it's LG. Without blue base, they would not be in this game.
Well, that's, yeah, but I feel like if you're going to pick a base to have, it's blue, just because you don't have that balcony. You can, I mean, I don't think LG have a second on blue right now. I don't think they have a point. Or on orange. Yeah. On orange. Yeah, I said that completely backwards. Yeah, if you want a base to hold, it's
I said that whole sentence. All you had to say is, yeah, I agree.
Yes, Joe. Fantastic point. God, you're intelligent. Dude, come on. I got a little bit of a head cold, man. I haven't said anything too crazy yet. You're always my bailout, Joe. My number 1.
I got you.
Thanks, buddy. But now the lead building for Envy, up to a 60-point advantage and a chance for streaks for Hook. Getting close to a grab slam as well. No, he's cooking.
That player's right next to him, and there's the slam out of Slat, able to find one, at least shuts down that Purifier. But once again, when you talk about the early rotation, you're talking about it now, listen, where it just felt like Envy's played this way more disciplined. They've had early rotation time and time again. Streaks do come in from the side of Assault, but Slat and Formal trying to fight their way in. If LG can hang on the elevator and able to take it into hill number 2, they'll be right back.
Yeah, it's just, it almost seems like, I don't know, LG are playing like this, they can just outskill them.
Yeah.
More discipline from Envy, but they still need 41 more points to close this out for them to get to a map 5. TAC 5 ready and available. For Apathy, you have what? Hook with the grab slam, Assault and Aches getting close to their specialists again. You got a big specialist advantage there, and you have the lead, plus you have the lightning strike. So everything favoring Envy right now to get this to a map 5. What of a turn of events this would be, considering how the first 2 maps went for LG. And we know at Envy, if they've gone to so many map 5s. Unfortunately, it's been their undoing a lot as they've lost many of them, but they've proven that they can get there time and time again, regardless of who their competition is.
It's a big hill, though. Lightning strike called in from Assault. They have the grab slam as well on Hook. Can he get inside? A chance for LG to get right back in this game, only down about 40. Aches able to stay up, but the close spawns are still there. Now has the War Machine to invest it right away, but the trophy's still there. He has to have a teammate get it, but it's going to be Hook with the grab slam. Able to find a couple of kills. That's 3 down for LG, and you can see they're all spawning out.
And that's the first time for LG you've had the early setup. And Envy able to do what LG couldn't throughout the first 2 hard points at Orange. They couldn't get any pressure towards the hard point. No contest, no time. And Envy, they get it done behind a grab slam and the gun skill up front. Now just 10 more points needed.
43 and 20 I see on Hook.
He's dropped some bombs over the course of this year. Another one from the young gun. He's got 5 in a row right now as he has just dominated Luminosity. The final point needed. There's a contest for the moment, but there's the final kill. And Envy, they get the map 4-1 in what looked like it may be a quick 3-0 series, is now headed to a map 5.
Trying to see the score. Is there a way we can see the score? But I think I saw double 7Ks. I think there was 2 7Ks on the side of Envy.
Oh, yeah.
But I know one was Hook.
Yeah, one was absolutely Hook. What a game from him. It was Gunless in the map 1 that had the superstar performance. And this time it was Hook's turn as he drops a bomb on the forehead of Luminosity and gets them to a 5th map. But this has got, what was the stat that we talked about Fort Worth where it was just like, how many, it was something insane. I can't remember off the top of my head, but how many map 5s it's been for Envy, how many have actually been losses. And that's been, well, I mean, kind of a tale for them last year as well, at least for some of the players that have stuck through from EG to Envy.
And a little bit for LG, it's sort of that feeling, all right, like sort of, we got to refocus out, right? Back to reality a little bit. Yes, we just won. But yeah, that's, oh, so Hook and Ace. Yeah, I mean, we talked about Ace bringing out that Rampart, immediately having a big map at 7,500 damage.
And just, I know we go by, you know, we use our regular KD of the course called esports with 56 and 20. That's like that's what you see like a league play stat line like that. You don't see that too often here in the Pro League. Hook asserting his dominance and getting Envy to that 5th map. Who will come out on top? It's Envy, LG, map 5 coming up next. So I got that stat, Joe, because I couldn't remember exactly what it was. Throughout Black Ops 4, Envy have lost 11 series. 7 have been in Game 5. They've gone to 7 Game 5s. They've lost every single one. They're 0-7 in Game 5.
0-7?
Yeah.
That's just crazy to me because, like, when you look at the EG roster last year, like, they were just so good at search, like, especially at champs when They won that, and then they come over here. They had Hook. Like, did they be a little better?
Yeah, they had that. They had that moment last year where they lost like 12 in a row.
That's true.
No, that's what I said earlier. They were kind of all over the place when it came to that. I
mean, this roster's all over the place.
Yeah. But I just remember, what was it? I can't remember the exact streak. It was something like 12 surges in a row.
It was like they got runner-up at Seattle, like,
and then didn't win a surge.
Like their surge was like reformed going into Seattle, and then after that, it was like, what just happened?
Well, so this is an interesting kind of David and Goliath. At least if you think about, LG just won the event. Envy haven't won a map 5. Can they do it here? It's like we got everything that we talked about at the beginning of the series. Like, could LG come out and be dominant? Well, yeah, they sure as hell did, at least in the first couple maps. Is this a series that Envy can just come out and shock everybody and win? Well, they've got a chance to now do that. Is the maybe back-to-back reverse sweeps in the books for our first day of cross-divisional play, as it has not let us down. But it'll be gridlock, and that map, I mean, frequency, that's one of LG's better, maybe Envy's best, and Envy looked, I just thought they looked the superior team without question. Like, it was closer than it should have been. Like, it just, LG, I don't know. It seemed like they were trying to play so scrappy. I know you can on a lot of maps in this game, but it just felt like they were out.
I felt like it was what you said. They were playing a little cocky. I think after the first 2-0, you get a little comfortable. We just won. Everything's going well. There's no way these guys touch us.
You heard the listening with Gunless. Like, yeah, it felt like they were
like, playing a pub.
We're rolling through these guys.
I was playing a pub, and
then they're like, oh, yeah, Hook's on the other team.
Hook's on the other team. Yeah, you guys, pretty good.
Slack gets 2 for LG, but it'll be 3 versus 3. Silly able to connect on the melee to give them the advantage, but just for a moment. It's a flurry back and forth. Now, former the last one to stand, can't hit the shot to maybe turn it into a 1v1, is now he has to clutch and just has the sniper strike combo to try and make the play. Envy gets the bomb plan in, and now he's got to go. And this is a tough spot to be in, just trying to pre-aim and hope he can get one.
Well, he had that opening on Assault because Silly wasn't there just yet. Now Silly's there. Silly was still near the bomb, and now you have to go in that one doorway enough 1 versus 2 with the sniper. But if he connects or even has his pistol out, I think he can force that first gunfight. Because Silly was backed by tree. I think he can get away with his life.
Just one of those rounds, those stressful rounds you'll see here inside of Showers, just trade after trade.
I know that, I mean, the trades were going the way of LG.
Well, a lot of times it's just like, who's that guy that picks up 2 kills? When I saw Slack come through with 2, I was like, all right, looking good for LG, but honestly, in that scenario, probably the last thing you want to have is the sniper. Like, you have something else there where you can just get involved in the trades maybe from Formal, and that can go differently. So all out to A for LG as well. Hook going to be the lone man here. He's coming off one of the better maps we've seen. He gets tagged up. Can he get away with his life? He gets tagged mid-heal, so he only gets back to 67. He's just spamming to try and get back up, but he does get away, and that's the crucial part.
Yeah, and Ace finds the first blood on a John, so you have that 4 versus 5 man advantage for Envy in these retake scenarios. We know how important those can be. Now you have to just run into the gauntlet. Gunless and Ace both able to find kills, but it's Apathy who turns the tides. Now a 2 versus 3. Classic and Slack behind the tree.
And Ace, I think, gets 4. He gets 4. The Rampart. It was Classic's Rampart. Now it's Patty P's Rampart as he just shreds LG, and that's back-to-back rounds. 4 on the board in round 2. And a chuckle out of Pat. And Nick's like, that's my gun.
I mean, to me, it fits Pat's playstyle perfectly. It does. Like, I mean, he had 7.5K on frequency. I just think it allows him to be very versatile, allow him to do whatever he wants.
Nice shots, nice kills. Obviously, a bit of a crossfire there with his teammates to clean it up, but he's the one coming in on the kill feed.
I'm going into the history books here, but when he was dominant in Black Ops 2, there was a lot of times where, you know, he would just randomly switch to the AN-94 out of nowhere, and kind of reminds me of that weapon quite a bit.
And Man of War.
Yep.
They're going to give Aches this plant as he's on 4 in a row and just 225 off his streaks. He's already got some great progression towards his War Machine. Just take a look at how much further ahead he is than Gunless right now. LG in desperate need of a round. And risk of going down to a 3. Now going to be the 5v5 retake. Formal almost gets picked as he tries to peek in through a hole. Aches will drop, so no streaks, and here comes the break. That's going to be 4 down now for Envy. Silly going to be the last one up. Can't slide out even though he finds 2. And LG will have the defuse. A really nice retake there from LG. You make sure Aches doesn't get streaks. About as good as it can go, considering the bloodbath that was the first 2 rounds.
All right, great job by Slatt as well. Slatt did not, I think it was Formal who didn't have the best game 4. So Slatt, big round from him. Finds multiple, but as you said, just stops those streaks.
It's thinking about Formal. It's funny because like obviously he's been a guy that's been, well, you teamed with him. Like he's been sort of a, I don't know if hard carry. Well, yes, from a stat standpoint, he's usually the guy dropping like insane stats, right? He's been that throughout his career. I remember he joked around with me. This is like, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago. He's like, dude, can I just get carried to an event win?
Yeah,
like, can I get carried once?
Yeah.
And like, not that he was carried exactly, but like, dude, you had incredible performances out of his teammates there. It just made me think of that. He was just saying to me one time, like, can I get one? Well, Envy get 2 rounds in a row. Now we'll see if LG can do the same. They're going to get a quick plant down. We just saw LG do a 5-on-5 retake. Now it's Envy's turn. Last time they were in the scenario, remember, Aches got that first pick to turn into a 5v4 early. Got that towards
that cluster.
Site. Wow. That's a dandy. Shots in as well.
When you talk about some of the best players in the world, we saw it in the final. It was Gunless and Temp. Ace is at least able to bring it back, but I swear, whenever we're on board with those guys with those clusters, they're just so efficient with it. Now on 1 versus 4.
Gunless gets 4.
But that adds a lot to your arsenal. When you have that cluster grenade, because you can see how much damage those things do. But I'm telling you, him and Temp are just so efficient with it.
And you need to be more efficient than past titles, just because you'll get a couple of uses a game, right? But you had what? Aches had a 4-kill round to get a victory. Now Gunless has a 4-kill round to bring it back at 2-2. It's honestly, I mean,
he just said he's 150 from streak, so
it's a very similar situation we just saw Aches in, right?
Wow, I'm great. I can read lips.
It's always something I wish that I could do.
Read lips?
Yeah. I can barely read, so. They just pushed him out. My God, Classic has nowhere to go. Okay, well, he at least gets 2 before he drops.
So there was the adjustment out of Envy. LG, when they try to retake A, typically they'll send 2 to 3 on the flank. So Envy just wait for him towards that B side. Now Gunless has to try to play his life. Not able to find that kill.
So Aches doesn't get his streaks. Gunless doesn't get his streaks. But incredible pressure there from Envy towards B. And well, Gunless just like, where'd everybody go?
They waited. No, so when LG likes to retake A, they send 3 on the flank, like right away. And you can see the aggression out of Slatt, and I think it's John and Classic who help him out. They were stuck inside of Sushi. Envy just waited for it.
Sort of, yeah, bait out the aggression from LG and then just fly at Classic. All right, so what? You've got Formal 0-3, John 0-5. Everybody else carrying the load right now for Luminosity. And Hook coming off that incredible game, he's yet to find a kill in this as well. It's been early plants from Luminosity onto the A site in the first couple of rounds. This time they'll get it down quickly at B. So another retake opportunity now.
You have the War Machine. John find a kill, not able to find his first one. So now 0-6 for John, and that's just so big because even if he finds one, that just changes things.
Trying to stretch it. Trying to stretch it. He's on it.
He's on the defuse.
Silly's on it. Silly is on it. It doesn't seem anybody has the angle. Nobody's got the angle. Silly gets the defuse as he's able to stretch it. And was that just a bad plant spot there that he was able to get behind the box? It didn't look like anyone had the angle on him.
I just think you can't beat the angles, right? When you have 4 players.
Well, because, yeah.
Right, you don't have numbers. But if John finds a kill, then one player has to get on the bomb. You can sort of at least just challenge the gunfights. When you don't have the numbers, it's just so hard to peek.
True.
You don't want to throw your life away. But a great job by Envy. Once again,
you think they get it planted where they wanted to, considering they got a free plant now.
Once again, though, on the retake situation, finding that first blood just so important. The 2 times we've seen it from Envy, they found those opening kills.
Both sides just kind of holding. War Machine from Gunless. Looks like it's going to come up empty. They're just going to back it up and wrap. So now the pressure will come to Formal on the other end. He's got a Matic, so can't do the damage he'd like to at range. Maybe with something like the ICR or the Paladin. He's going to spot. He sees at least one. Now he's spotted the push. The rotation's going to come in. towards back broken and ice cream. You still have Ace mid map though. Look at Ace just tucked away.
Well, he's just watching hole. He was just making sure nobody pushed through that A side. So yeah, Ace is just playing his life.
And he might be able to get the kill. No, he's getting incredible timing. He's gonna get incredible timing. Nice shots from Ace. First blood in. He's had a couple in this game. Slack comes on through. Can't trade it out, but Gunless does.
He found Ace on the flank.
Just barely gets away with his life. But they've only got 30 seconds to work with, and Gunless now just starting to push up towards Semi. He's going to realize now they're all pushed up into Broken. Everybody coming towards Slack. He's trying to dance for his life. The movement there, the kill there. Gunless gets one as well, and now it's all going to be on Assault to try and clutch. 15 seconds remaining. Slack has hopped it. Slack has hopped it. He gets him off it. He gets him off it. He wins both gunfights. Assault with the clutch. Assault with the streaks, and another round for Envy.
And Gunless had the time. Even if that player who was defusing goes down, he has time after to win that gunfight.
Because it caps at, what, 10 seconds about?
And this is just one of those situations, I think if you're Gunless, you're just maybe one step ahead. Your brain is one step ahead of sort of what's going on in the game. He's probably thinking about, as soon as I get this kill, I have to jump on the defuse. I have to jump on it. Probably doesn't finish the kill. Still, though, John in formal double donut action from the side of LG.
0 and 11. And Assault got that lightning. Slash to get a quick plant. He has grab slam.
He's gotta be careful. I think you see Assault, yeah, calling it in right away. Now it's on Slash trying to stay alive. Does a good job to get away from it. But still they run into Slash who finds 3.
Another big slam from Slack gives them a 4v2 edge as he'll be able to back it up and now get the plant down at A. Good job getting off the bomb, making sure he's not caught by the streak, and now it's just going to be Assault standing. Gunless 10 and 4, Slack 11 and 5. They're really providing everything right now. Assault, though, that's a big one. He at least gets the Hellstorm. Gets one kill before he drops, with everyone basically flying at him.
Did Slack get that last kill? We'll have to see how close Slack is now, though, because he found the 3 to 4 kills plus planted. But you're getting big production out of 3 players on the side of LG. You just need
0.
John, yeah, you need John or Formal to step on up. But the fact that Slack's able to stay alive, get away from the lightning, and just a little lucky he has a grab slam in his back pocket. I was honestly worried he was in a team kill there.
Yeah. Oh, I think his teammate fell right before that. Oh, you mean another player? Or the
yeah, I didn't know how close they were.
Yeah. LG have got to rip off 4 straight. One's on the board, now can they get 3 more? So he's what, 225 off. Assault still has that Hellstorm.
All right into the cluster, they set that up.
Vision Pulse is in from Silly, so they're just gonna War Machine through. Flakjack keeps him up, a team kill actually comes in.
That's a War Machine player as well.
What just happened there from Assault?
I think he was just pre-firing Slack through with the Vision Pulse, but Bomb gets down, still 4 versus 4. You can see who's going on the flank right away.
Apathy's been knocked down to 30 HP twice.
But LG might have found this opening. If they can go fast enough, I'm sure one of them will turn for the flank. Hellstorm in as well, just to slow things down.
They're trying to find him. I think they're trying to hunt down the player calling the Hellstorm, but Assault's so far back. And now look at this collapse you have. Johnson's going to go ahead and get right on it. Pook has been spotted. Trying to look for the angle.
He's on it. He's on it.
He's still on it. He just insta-hops it. It's a 2v4 defuse. Silly with one earlier. Now it's Luminosity's turn as we're going the distance here in Game 5.
I like the quick decision-making from LG. You know you're in a tough spot. There's only 25 seconds left. Tempest was used as well. But yeah, Hook, he just doesn't look left. Hook just ran through showers. I think Gunless was shooting at him.
Well, I think he got tagged up, yeah, and then just
I think Hook can still just check it from showers, at least give it a shoulder.
I just don't think they're thinking anybody hopped it, yeah. 5-4 now.
Oh, and 9.
Whew. John's having a game.
Wow.
He's halfway to TAC 5. Apathy. Speaking of TAC 5, he does have his ready and available. Ake's doing some damage with the Rampart, but he will get backed up. So last time we were in this spot, Envy was able to play the retake. It was what, the clutch from Assault.
It was that first kill, though. It's always that first kill for Envy. Can they find it again? John in a great position, trying to find a kill, finally able to do so. It's a big one, and it's first. He's able to stay alive, just buying time. finds a second as well, finally gets traded, but that's a huge play out of John.
Yeah, those are his first 2 kills, and my God, they are big ones. Formal just trying to keep eyes on the back truck. 20 seconds remaining. They line up, and a team kill comes in. Classic, good job staying up after the damage is in. Looking like we're going to have a round 11. Gunless comes through on the flank there. They get chopped down, and here we go. From a 2-0 edge in the series for LG, Envy bring it back to get it to a game 5, and it all comes down to this one final map, or one final round.
This was the play. I mean, he finds the first kill great.
I thought he was
the
gonna
fact
caught there.
that he stays alive. Plus, there's a player looking at him. He catches the player out of ice cream, but you see the shot come in. So the reaction to just find that second kill. Huge play out of John.
All right, let's see what we have for either side as we get into this final round.
Formal with Tempest, and that's about it. Classic is close. If Classic can get a bomb plant, maybe you get the Vision Pulse. I don't know if he has the bomb. He doesn't have it. Maybe they're trying to hope Slack finds one.
Get a big play, well, a couple big plays with that grab slam throughout this. And Formal, he's getting aggressive. Can he hit one shot? There it is. Hits one to change. He's got 2 down. He's got 2 down. He's going to continue the push, though, and he's going to get caught. Maybe a little bit over-aggressive there from Formal as he's sitting at 2 and 6.
Slash so close to grab time. He's trying to stay alive. 2 versus 3. Can he win the gunfight? No! Now it's down to Gunless in a 1 versus 2.
He's able to get out. 20 seconds remaining. Can Gunless clutch up? Not going to be able to do it. It's Assault that wins the fight. It's Envy that wins the map as they get the reverse sweep on the board. That is a big win for Envy, who are sitting in 6th place in their division as they take down the champs.
Yeah, I mean, Formal just gets a little too eager. A little too eager, I think, with that tempo.
Yeah, I think he's just thinking, like, if I hit one shot, if I get this angle and hit one shot, I got him. But it goes the other way, though, too. You miss, you're dead. You miss, you're dead. And I guess I was surprised to see him that push.
And they won a game 5.
Oh, yes!
Envy won a game 5.
Won a game 5. Yeah! Pat, you did it! Can you hear me? I'm so proud of you.
You guys are still arguing. It's fine. But I think for LG, I mean, so yeah, you just won, but hey, we're right back to it, right? Time to go to work.
And think about it. I mean, the Rampart, I think, played a part in that too, because you didn't really see it. I think the first 2 maps coming out of Envy, you see them pull it out of the control. That's Rakes really steps it up, and you see them start to bring it back over the course of that series. But that was a fun one. I think more. I'll be honest. I 100% have the first 2 maps. I thought that was 3-0.
I mean,
after they showed the 12-2 stat line,
it's not an event, but we got to game 5 round 11.
Yeah!
5 to us.
Do we have how many game 5s do we have at Dallas for?
0.
Do we have 1? I think we had 1.
Oh, 1.
E United. I think they won.
Reciprocity, right?
Yes. Yeah, I think that was
Friday.
Yeah. All right, but back-to-back game 5s and back-to-back reverse sweeps as well. We saw Red able to do it, now Envy able to do it. We talked about them being 2 of the more maybe inconsistent or up-and-down teams. Well, in these 2 matches, they were able to get it done.
We're not lying to you. Yeah, like, we're not lying to you. Like, Envy just comes out, gets top 12, and then they beat the team and just won the event.
Well, Envy beat the champs, and Envy get their first game 5 win in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And we've got Captain Price on stage for your PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thank you, Clint. How does it feel to be the Fort Worth champions?
It feels good, you know. I mean, I think they came out hot. We had some map sets that didn't favor us, but that's kind of how that veto was going to go versus this team. You know, we had the 3 good maps to end it, and I think we ended strong. I felt like we should have won that S&D. Should have been a little cleaner game 5, but got the job done, so it feels good.
And what happened the first 2 maps? Why did we see such a slow start?
You know, Seaside's not one of our better maps, but it was kind of, we just took a gamble on not playing them on Hossie because we feel like it's one of their stronger maps. We started slow, weren't really slaying, and picked up the slaying in the end, especially map 4, and just kind of got the momentum in our favor, and then clutched up game 5, so it feels good.
All right, and we chatted a little bit before about, you know, need to shut down Gunless. What do you think overall, what do you attribute this win to?
Well, we definitely didn't shut him down map 1, but, you know, I pulled out a Rampart in game 3, kind of combat Nick a little bit, and I think I did way better than him with it, so I don't want to, you know, say the Rampart was why, but we just got our heads together, played as a team, and, you know, clutched up in the end. So I think we were 0-8 in game 5, so we finally clutched up in 1, and it feels good.
All right, thank you so much. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction, and we'll be right back after this quick break.
little cozy corner in your heart for me. Cozy corner in your heart for me. Keep a little cozy corner in your heart for me.
Envy have done it. Not only do they take down the CWL Fort Worth champions, but they also managed to win a Game 5 Round 11. A big congratulations to them. Now, Pac, right off the bat, when it got to that point and they came back, I was like, oh.
I thought Envy lost for sure.
Yeah.
Like after they brought it back to Round 11, Envy just doesn't win those, right? JP.
Unless it's against LG.
Oh, they were 0-7 in Game 5. We know they can't win Round 11s. They won their first Game 5, they won their first Round 11, and it was against LG, the defending champs. That's a great way to get the first one. Like,
that's like, it's weird for Envy fans though, because kind of Joe and Clint were talking about it a little bit. The worst thing for Envy is like they go like 3-1 this week, they keep that roster, and then it's just like insanity. It repeats over and over. But they do get that Game 5 win against the Luminosity. It looked like they kind of let off the gas pedal a little bit mid-series, but nevertheless, impressive win for Envy.
It's weird because sometimes you can like, it's not that you can predict the reverse sweeps, but you can kind of like feel that it's possible in the air. After Game 1 and 2, I was like, oh, this is about to be the fastest series. LG looked absolutely phenomenal. Envy looked terrible. And then it just flipped. Like, Pat pulled out a Rampart. Envy switched it up. I don't know.
I mean, you guys said what Envy is going to show up today.
You never know what
the one that can win Round 11 Game 5.
Yeah, on the side of LG, though, you know, you got MVP. You got Big Pierce. You know, one thing, you know, you're looking fly up there, you know, you're putting up 1.4s, but come on, man. You need one of these, man. It's unacceptable, man. Your hat, I know it's shout out to Pokey, but come on, man.
We got it right here.
Just like this.
We got it.
Just like this, man. Just a little bit, and you'll be good.
It might be a lot of it, though. That's a lot of lit. All right, we need to bring up these replays because we got to talk about that Slack Slam. Holy crap. That's got to be the first 5-piece we've seen so far.
Wow.
They gone.
Dang.
They gone.
But it was beautiful. You got to understand, Envy right here pinged the lightning strike. So that's the reason why he decided to run it.
What were they looking
Perfect timing. What are all 5 of them looking at?
That is absurd. Man, he had some good slams that series. Let me tell you that.
He had a three-piece, a five-piece.
In the search and destroy. He like single-handedly brought them back into that game. Like he got that three-piece in the search, and then he also picked up that sneak defuse he got in the very next round. So he did a lot. I mean, Slack has improved tremendously going into Fort Worth and into the Pro League. He's been playing great.
This is a big clutch out of Assault. I mean, Gunless really had no idea where he's going to come from, so he has to check Ice Cream, top and bottom. It was just a really good clutch out of Assault. Good decision out of him.
Yeah, right I love this play out of Slack for the simple fact that the lightning strike was called in, immediately forced him out of the bomb site. But he knew once that lightning strike was coming in, Envy was just going to be flooding the door. Gets a three-piece Slack slam. Shout out to that man. He's doing his thing with the Slack slam.
Yeah, and then the next round he hops that bomb as well. One thing I want to talk about on the side of Envious was Aches. He had a really good performance on this game 5. He kept putting himself in those really advantageous positions. There was a round where, it was like 2 rounds ago, he gets pushed up through mid-map, and they're just hunting for that first blood, and he catches that guy in the connector, picks him up in the back, which kind of just opens up the map for them. It creates a lot of chaos on the side of Luminosity, and ends up with Assault picking up those streaks. So that was a huge play out of Aches.
Shout out to John for this play. At this point in the game, he has 0 kills, and sometimes it can be hard to stay in the game mentally.
Yeah. When you're 0-9.
0-9, but he picks up a huge 2-piece, basically wins that round for his team on a solo play. Huge play from him, and that's when I thought, oh, it's over for Envy for sure.
Yeah, this round we see a pretty big blunder out of Formal. He has that Tempest, right? He pushes up that left side, showers. They get the bomb down, and he connects with the shot. Previous to this, he connected with the shot on Assault. Yeah, so Assault was down. Maybe it's right here. He actually connects with it. Yeah, so he's going to down him. And all he has to do right here is he calls out, nobody's through that little room yet. I just have to hold the angle. But he wide peeks it and puts himself in that situation to get blooded. If he holds that angle and even just stays alive, the round is so much easier for Luminosity to win. So we kind of saw Gunless going at it with him after the game. If Formal just holds that angle, I think they win this round.
I'm not sure why he decided to venture out there. There's no way he thought that Assault was the furthest pushed up person at that point, right? That's the only thing that makes sense. But since there's another doorway, he definitely should have played way more passively. I don't know, it was just we were just watching like, why did you?
Because you have no information. Like, you could see that door, and you have no information on the back door. So you should always assume worst case scenario. And worst case scenario is that there's 2 guys pushed out against that wall. So, wide peeking that, it's a little weird, but it was just a blunder.
I have to see it again. I don't think he was running out of time on his Tempest.
No, he wasn't.
He was not. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe a little patience there. We've talked about that in the past. Just a little bit of patience.
I mean, Formal with the Tempest too. Like, if somebody jumps that corner, he's probably going to hit that shot. So you got to think if he just holds that angle, they win that game. And we're completely different discussion going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, Luminosity certainly seemed confident when they were up 2-0, but perhaps a little too confident again, ending up losing to Envy. But we want to bring up our schedule.